let's listen to this again altercation, I would call it, between the FCT Minister and some army officers. Take a listen, please.
Government order. He has no power. Former. Okay, okay, can I tell something?
Sir, let me request to enlighten you. So there's no such thing as a former Vice Admiral.
Okay, thank you very much.
Vice Admiral is Vice Admiral.
It's still not an officer now. He's not serving the government. Even if he's serving the government, this government property. Show me the document you have. You have no document.
So what document?
Bring the document.
You have documents and everything has been submitted, sir.
Excuse me, I'm the minister.
Yes, sir.
You cannot tell me. You cannot tell me that. We cannot continue to act in this impunity. Where the approval even to build. You cannot continue this way. This country cannot continue along this line. How can that man at his level, even if he has a problem, he cannot reach me and say, look, I'm sorry, see what I have. You will send soldiers to intimidate who? We are all from this country. And this is government. You cannot be higher than any government. You cannot be carrying gun to intimidate people to not to do their work. Let me tell you, if not going to chief of defense staff who spoke to me now, you could have killed everybody here. No problem. I'm not one of those that they can intimidate. I'm doing my job.
We are not intimidating anybody.
That's what you're doing.
The civilian, the engineer mobilized to sites, and then staff or workers of FCDA look at this to intimidate them.
No, listen now.
That is the threatening them. And that was when the admiral gave the order.
He cannot give order against government.
Because the papers are complete and he said it's submitted.
Are you the one? Listen, you know the problem you have. Are you the one that will say, paper, which show me that you are old? First of all, show me that government gave you this place. Two, show me that you have an approval to build what you are building. It has nothing to do with I'm a vice admiral, I'm a lieutenant general. That is not it. We must work according to law. We must work according to law.
We forwarded everything to him.
And to who?
No, anybody don't tell like this. Don't tell like this.
Don't you try it.
I said it. Don't tell like this. No. Don't try it. Don't tell me. Keep quiet.
Look at me, I'm lying.
I'm more than lying. I'm more than you. Look at you. Don't intimidate me. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? I am everywhere. I'm so
I'm a small boy, but the commission I'm carrying
I don't know what I You cannot say this government. You don't get the document. You don't have document. The man took that. We will not allow going to the chief of defense and then you to carry land.
Sir, everything was acquired legally.
Will you stop
and
that?
You get
Will you stop that?
Sir, I'm an officer, I have integrity.
Shut up, your mouth, good officer.
I will not shut up.
Will you get out?
Sir, I won't shut up. Sir,
I was in school, you're not in school.
Sir, you can't shut
Will
me
you keep quiet? Give me a big food.
I'm not
You are a big fool.
I'm not a fool,
You
sir.
can shoot anybody like that.
Sir, I'm not
You are
a fool.
Who are you?
I am not a fool, sir.
After the time I graduated, you were in primary school.
I'm acting on orders.
Take for which
You can't
order?
call me a fool.
You will see what else you love this year.
Sir, you can't call me a fool.
Go and develop your
I'm an officer.
develop.
I'm not a fool, sir. I'm an officer.
You would have killed everybody here.
No, we won't kill anybody. We won't kill anybody. We are acting on orders.
Go and develop. Go and develop your right to see you.
Regular officer, you want to come and
We are going to now get out. You are aware that the land departments and the development control have been mandated to see where there are illegal development going on and land grabbing. And when this was brought to my attention, I did instruct them to make sure that nothing takes place in as much as They did not have any legal paper in terms of building approval or even the acquisition of the land. And when they came here, I was informed that the soldier of the military had to chase them away. And I thought probably they will be acting illegally. And so today, while I was in the office, while they came to implement the directive that was given to them by myself, I was called that the military have taken over the place. And I have to come by myself to see things for myself. It's really unfortunate. And you heard what the officer said was said by the former chief of naval staff. And I don't understand how somebody who attained that position and you see that he has a problem cannot approach my office to say, look, this is what is going on, this is what is going on. But simply because he's a military man, he could use that to intimidate Nigerians. I'm not one of those kind of persons that will succumb to blackmail or intimidation. And you can imagine where you cannot even prove where are the documents. And the director of the Revenue Control is there. I said, look, I was there. I said, bring the documents. You don't have the documents. Bring the approval for building. You don't have it. And how can we continue to allow lawlessness to prevail in this country? What about those who don't have the military? What about those who don't have security? It has gotten to a level where when government officials are carrying out their job, you go and bring security to intimidate them against government officials. I will not accept that. I've spoken to the Chief of Defense Staff and I've spoken to the Chief of Naval Staff, and they have assured me that, please, they have to resolve the matter. And we're not coming here to have a shootout with anybody to cause chaos or not. But what I can say, I would not allow it to happen. The way we have done, carried our jobs in other areas, in the same way it will be done here. He will not carry out this illegal development and land grab simply because he was a former chief of naval staff. I would not allow that.
All right. So the particular video that's been trending since morning has been that shorter one. That was the end of the full clip. And if you listen to that, I think that's what most people have seen and heard. And the reaction is actually understandable because, of course, it paints Wike as a terrible person. But before I tell you what I think about it, I'm just going to read different people's perspectives on this matter. For instance, we have the former Chief of Army Staff, retired Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Buratai, and this is what he had to say. Urgent action required as Minister Wike's conduct poses a clear threat to national security. The events of November 11, 2025, involving the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Barrister Nyesom Wike, demand an immediate and serious response. His public disparagement of a uniformed officer of the Nigerian Armed Forces transcends mere misconduct. It represents a palpable threat to national security and institutional integrity. A minister's verbal assault on a military officer in uniform is an act of profound indiscipline that strikes at the core of our nation's command and control structure. He deliberately undermines the chain of command, disrespects the authority of the commander-in-chief, and grievously wounds the morale of every individual who serves under the Nigerian flag. Such actions erode the very foundation of discipline upon which our national security apparatus stands. This cannot be dismissed as political theater. It is a reckless endangerment of national order. This action by Wike is clearly an indication of undermining the federal government authority. Consequently, Barrister Nyesom Wike must tender an immediate and unequivocal public apology to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as Commander-in-Chief, the entire armed forces of Nigeria, and the specific officer whose honor was violated. A minister's verbal assault on a military officer in uniform is an act of profound indiscipline. Okay, I already read that. Our nation's security must come first. It is time for decisive action, not politics of military bashing. The integrity of our armed forces demands nothing less. Tukuro Buratai. All right, that's one. I'll read another one from Joy Bokwe. This is what Joy Bokwe said. What this small boy displays today has a million meanings. What frightens me is the reactions here. I have been reading what some people are saying here and I get more frightened. Who sent the small boy on this? Why are you calling him small boy now? Who sent the small boy on this horrible mission? Of what meat is he fed? I am running away with the thinking that those lands were stolen. Take him out of the military ASAP. He represents evil. He was not well brought up. His so-called bravery is arrant nonsense, full of sound and fury, signifying, take him out. He represents evil. We call this principle of reverse psychology. Take who out? Why would you? Anyway, let me tell you what I think. When it's time to come up to tell us what you think, please feel free to do so as well. Let me just say what I think. I mean, there is the matter that the minister actually talked about, the fact that the land probably wasn't acquired, through the proper channels or proper way, and that is a valid argument from the government, from the minister. But I think the first thing here is this. I don't know if the minister is supposed to be the one to go there. That's the issue I have. I don't think he's supposed to go there in terms of going there physically to be talking to, because to be honest, right, this is what I think. You can disagree, but I don't think he should be exchanging words with the officer, because that officer would do nothing if the superior officer doesn't tell him to leave that place. In other words, he can't take orders from the minister. History is interesting. Remember what we read the other day about if you have conflicting orders from the president and the prime minister, how would you listen to? And then they told them in 64 that they had to listen to the prime minister. That officer is not duty bound to listen or to obey the minister. He's not in his chain of command. That's the truth. And so when this man is calling him the small boy, it's not about age. Yubani ento baron inshela and berak and tamaji. He's there not in his own capacity. He's there because he was given orders to be there. Therefore, you may want to actually contact the person who is superior to him. That's one. But does that make it right? No. If, for instance, we have a situation where the government is saying something about the particular land and all of us now have access to soldiers, then we'll put soldiers and officers in front of our properties. That means that nothing happens. I think there's this thing where also we have not totally removed ourselves from the military era in Nigeria, where we think once we have, the connection with the military, then nobody can question us. I don't think that thing should work. But once it happens like this, I don't think the minister should be trading words with the officer. The officer, someone say military zones, keep off. Says who? Every land within that place is actually under the control of UK. I hope you know. It's not military installation. It's private property. What do you mean military zones? Keep off. That's the mindset we had when we were under military. When you say military zone, you keep off. That's then, not anymore. There's nothing like military zone. If you're not talking about your barracks, it's not military installation. There's nothing like military zone. Just because you're a soldier and you have a property does not mean that it's a military zone. These are the issues. We thought we'd go back into civilian whatever since 99. We still have that mindset. It's not military zone. It's a personal property, and as far as they're in Abuja, it's still under the authority of the FCT Minister, because that's his duty. That's his it's under his purview. But the point is that whatever he wants to do, he cannot be talking to that officer. And calling the officer you're a fool is unnecessary. It's unnecessary. That person would only listen to Oga. Shebi is hierarchy, military hierarchy. So the job would be to talk to the Oga. But the question is this. It also shows what we do in Nigeria, where let's say you have an issue with a person or with the government, you're not going to court, you're not going through any proper channel, you just position officers and soldiers there. Therefore, keep off. That is not right. And let's make something very clear. This is a civilian regime, civilian government. The military is under the civilian. It's just that the particular officer cannot take direct orders from this particular civilian. You know, so the military, for instance, he said something that I actually found. Well, he was also angry, the officer, when he said he was talking to the police and he was, saying that he's talking, police is talking. The truth of the matter is that soldiers are not meant to be doing what they were asked to do, to stand in front of somebody's building. That is not part of the. It's just that I think the person who owned the property was said to be a retired military officer, so maybe that's why. But I think it was just a huge misunderstanding. Whatever was happening should have been between the minister of FCT and the supposed owner of that property. I don't see why he would now go down. Now you'll be talking directly to a person, and then that one you're saying he's a fool. You're in primary school when I was in school. That doesn't matter. That in that moment, although that person is taking orders from a superior officer, is also representing the president. It's a very funny mix. He's in uniform. That's Nigerian military standing right there. And Brata was right. But when you say you should apologize, I don't even know. That's on them. They will know exactly what they're supposed to do. But the person you are talking to in that moment, you're talking to the government. You're talking to the president. Although I don't even know why lawlessness is upon Nigeria, yo. Lawlessness is upon Nigeria, yo. You see how confusing this thing is. The person representing the government, but in that particular moment, he's not even supposed to be there because that his job. But even though it's wrong to be there, you as a minister, you cannot be the one to tell him what to do because he doesn't take orders from you. You see how color it all looks. It says, but the minister of the FCT also represents the president. He's not representing that. What's the word now? We can go granular, but the truth of the matter is that man is not going to take any orders from the president. He's not going to take any orders from the minister of FCT. If you say the minister is also representing president, why then do we say that you cannot say Sanwo-Olu was the one who sent the military to shoot at Lekki toll gate? Because he can't. The governor cannot order the military. He can't. And that's why when people were saying Sanwo-Olu was the one who said they should go and shoot, I was like, this is nonsense. It doesn't even make sense. How would Sanwo-Olu call the military officer and a military officer or call the barracks and say, oh, you guys, it's time for you to come and work? They're not under him. They don't take orders from the governor. If they are talking, it's based on maybe respect, but not like if you're going through structure, like the governor. He's not the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. That's the president. So if and by the way, to the people who are raising the conversation, if we agree with me that Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu could not have ordered the army to shoot or to do whatever they did, or to even go forget shooting, to even go to that toll gate, then which means of course that they don't take orders from him, then you can't expect this lone officer to take orders from the FCT minister. That's not how it works. It's not in the chain of command. He has no reason to listen to him. But the real issue is this: why is it that we have, and this is we all do it, at different levels. Do you hear the question those people were asking each other? Who are you? Do you know who I am? Who are you? Before the minister even spoke, who are you? Once you are somebody, you must show it by telling the people who you are, and then you get people to go and stand there. Lawlessness is more Nigeria. For me, that's the issue. I think it is lawlessness because there's no reason for that officer to be in that place. None at all. None. He's not a security officer. He's not a private security firm. This man is a military officer. There's no way you bring that to the point. No, that's beneath him, to be honest. It's beneath him. Shouldn't our soldiers, our officers should not be standing and protecting a building from being pulled down, even if he's wrong, even if you are right, safe, let alone if you are wrong. But I also agree with the officer, Sha. Let me tell you something. In all of this, let me say one person that you cannot blame for anything is that officer. is not wrong for anything. He didn't do anything wrong. He was told to go there and he went there, following orders. And you came and told him to leave. He can't leave because you're not his oga. He's not wrong. That officer is not wrong at all. He's lieutenant. Oh, okay. His oga is 3-star general. He cannot. There's nothing he did wrong. I see a lot of people also. Again, I think people like, I'm supporting this one. I'm not supporting anybody. I'm just looking at everything. There's nothing that gentleman did wrong. There's nothing he did wrong. But I don't think there's any reason it should be there. None. If we are serious about the way Nigeria should run, there is really no reason to have officers, securing a building. Shogun